Welcome back to Around Our E-Table. Alex and Deanna here. We are continuing on our Atlantic Canada tour, take 2. And our last video had us in Tatamagouche, Nova Scotia, staying at the Railway Inn. We then spent a couple of days in New Glasgow. We have no content for that, but on leaving New Glasgow, we are now heading to Cape Breton Island, the famed Cape Breton Island, home of the Cabot Trail, and many other enjoyable things to visit. About an hour's drive from New Glasgow, we approach the Canso Strait, and before we cross over into Cape Breton, we're going to take a look at the island from across the water. Well, we reached the point in Nova Scotia where we're about to cross over to Cape Breton. Off to our right in the distance, it's really not that far, is the Canso Causeway that crosses the strait here over onto Cape Breton Island. The weather could be better, but it could be a lot worse. In the early 1900s, a bridge across the strait was proposed, but it took until 1955 for the causeway to finally be open. The almost 1.4 kilometer long causeway is broken at the eastern end by the Canso Canal, and that is crossed by the Canso Canal Bridge, which is the dividing point between the mainland and Cape Breton. As with many other nations, Canada has a somewhat spotty record of dealing with First Nations people. Things are slowly changing, and here's one example. The entrance to Cape Breton now has this sign, which in the original Mi'kmaq basically says welcome to Unamatkik, just in recognition that this is unceded Mi'kmaq territory. While all of Nova Scotia, just by its name, indicates that it has roots in Scotland, Cape Breton Island is more Scottish, appears to be more Scottish than everywhere else. Once we're here, we noticed a lot of signs in Gaelic. It's got a beautiful musical tradition here, especially with Scottish-style Gaelic music. From the Canso Causeway through Mabou, Margaree Forks, and our destination for the night in Chéticamp, it's under 2 hours. Although, of course, it always takes us longer than that as we stop and enjoy. In Cheticamp, after filling up with gas, we fill up with groceries and then head out a couple of kilometers outside of town to Cape Breton Highlands National Park campground, where we'll stay for the next few nights. It's still early in the season here. The campground is quite busy, but we managed to get a decent campsite and look forward to the next few days. The rest of the video documents our little hike along the Salmon Pond Trail. Lovely little hike and very enjoyable. We're on the Salmon Pond hiking trail. Chéticamp National Park, or what's it called, Cape Breton Highlands National Park in Cheticamp. Just starting off on the trail. It's fairly flat, but considering I have problems with my feet, that's what we need right now. Anyway, I'm going to take some pictures as we go. Well, on the Salmon Pond Trail, you would expect to find small areas where the salmon might congregate. This is obviously not the right time of year for that, because it's usually in the fall that the salmon run. But a lovely looking place. It's been quite a few minutes since we've seen the river and any hope of salmon ponds, but I guess good things come to those who hike and wait. been a little while again since we saw the river, so we're happy to be back. We heard it before we could see it. Lovely. So we made it to first pool. There was a pool earlier, but it wasn't first. And there are two more above us. There's second and third, but we'll probably turn around here because of, well, bathrooms. Lack thereof. So as near as I can tell here, the salmon are using too much shampoo when they shower.